Hello, my name is Jimmy. I'm a child passenger safety technician, and this ultimate family vehicle here is the 2023 Acura Integra Type S. And it's the ultimate vehicle not because it can carry a large family. It can only carry 4, but it's just a whole lot of fun. It's essentially the Civic Type R in Acura clothing. So let me tell you everything you need to know, starting with the looks. Let's be honest, when Acura unveiled the new Integra, people weren't too thrilled about it. But the Type S, I believe, it just changes all of that. You got this extractor on top of the hood. The entire front bumper is changed. These aggressive LED headlamps just mixes with that front end so much better. On the side here, we got these 19-inch graphite wheels, and behind that, big Brembo calipers. And of course, Integra Type S, you do get these over fenders. They do look a little bit tacked on, but it is fully molded to the body itself. Type S badging right on the fender, some skirts on the bottom just to have that aggressive stance. You do get proximity door locks on the front door, but sadly not on the rear. The roofline does slope down as is kind of that coupé sedan kind of shape. You do have the addition of the spoiler right here and a much more aggressive rear bumper and the center exit exhaust. I mean, let's be honest, this looks amazing. The regular Integra, I think it's fine in terms of the way it looks, but this, it steps it up like 10 folds. And don't think like you're losing much here, because inside you still get 24 cubic feet of space. A full, very practical trunk space here. The only downfall I would say here is, the load height is relatively tall. So if you got to load anything in, like this baby stroller, you certainly can. You do have to lift it up a little bit of ways before you can place that into the vehicle. But let's head inside. All right, the back seats. I'm 5'11" and I'm like right on the headliner, so I had to slouch just a little bit. Legroom is actually not bad. I got enough knee space and my feet can slide right under the driver's seat. It's decently comfortable, but that's really it, because I feel like I'm missing a lot of things back here. The quality of the materials aren't the best. I don't have heated seats like the top Integra does. I don't have vents. I don't even get a center armrest. The cup holders that were there are just integrated right here in the center, as the Integra Type S is only a 4-seater. I guess that's totally fine if you're only thinking about carrying 2 more passengers back here. But if you're thinking about the third, sadly, no seatbelt, no space for them. If you're thinking of putting child seats in here, as mentioned, I am a child passenger safety technician, and I was able to put 2 car seats in here. On the driver's side, this is a Kleck Ling infant seat. No problems getting the base in here, and the carrier was also quite smooth. While the doors don't open like a full 90 degrees, I was still able to glide the infant carrier in here without much issues. On the passenger side, this is a rearward facing Kleck Finf. Once again, no issues here. There's plenty of room for the child seat, and there's also plenty of room for anyone that's sitting in front of the seat as well. The roofline, it does slope down a little bit, so if you're kind of putting your child in and out of a rearward facing seat, it might be a little bit more difficult, but I mean, they'll grow out of that in a few years anyway, so they'll be flipped to forward facing and they should be fine from there. In terms of lower anchors, you got a set on the driver's side and a set on the passenger side. As for upper anchors, you have 2 of them, one on the driver and one on the passenger side, of course. The only thing I would say is, the headrests, they're not movable. So if you're putting like a booster in here, like a high back booster, or even a forward facing seat, just make sure you're able to properly secure them within the vehicle itself. As it does protrude a little bit, it may not, the seat may not be able to sit fully like flush on the seat back itself. So do double check that. But let's move up front. All right, the front seats of the Integra Type S. The first thing you're gonna notice is, these seats, they're the exact same or very similar to the regular Integra. Yes, it does say Type S up here, but the seat is contoured just like the regular Integra. It has enough bolstering, but it's definitely nowhere as good as the Civic Type R. But you do get a powered driver's seat with adjustable 4-way lumbar support and heated seat, something you can't get in the Civic Type R. In front of me, the steering is actually very similar. You get this red stitching in the middle, a Type S logo on the bottom. It is heated as well, and you got plenty of buttons on the side to control everything that you really need. And behind that, you can see all that you need with this digital cluster. While it does change a little bit depending on drive modes like Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus, it doesn't have like a plus R mode, unfortunately. So it doesn't have that really cool animation that the Civic Type R does. But you do get a heads-up display, and that shows you your speed. It can show navigation information, as well as your adaptive cruise control information as well. But the infotainment is exactly the same as the Civic. You got this 9-inch unit here. It has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. It works really well. It might be a little laggy at times within like the Honda menu, or Acura menu really in this case, but it's absolutely fine. And actually the audio that's in here, it's a little bit better as well, as it is an ELS audio system. It's definitely not the greatest, but it is better than the Civic for sure. As for the rest of the interior, I mean, it's essentially the same as the regular Integra. The only thing you're missing is the sunroof. You don't get a sunroof with the Type S, which I totally understand. But unlike the Civic, you get a sunglasses holder and this frameless automatic dimming rear view mirror. It does look good, but I'm sure if you have a Civic Type R and you really wanted that, I'm sure there's a way for you to get that into your vehicle. Let's talk about the powertrain before we go for a drive. Under the hood, it is a 2-liter turbocharged 4. It makes 320 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Mated to that is a 6-speed manual driving the front wheels through an LSD. And yeah, with that kind of power, acceleration is no problem. Getting on the highway is not a problem at all. This shifter and combo, it just feels great in here. It feels like an actual sports car, and it really is. It kind of lives up to all of those expectations you have set of the Integra, and I absolutely love it. This is great. You drive it in like normal mode, it feels like a normal car. So like if I put on normal or comfort, really, it's pretty comfortable. The suspension softens up, the steering is relatively light, the throttle is still pretty active, but it's not as well direct as it was in Sport or Sport Plus. But this is still actually very livable. It might be a little loud on the highway just because of, well, the amount of sound deadening that's in here, and because it is a hatchback. You do have, well, a little bit of road noise coming in from the rear as well. But I don't think it's that bad. I think this is still a really, really good way to experience the Integra. The regular Integra, I mean, with the L15, that 1.5 liter with 200 horsepower, it's fine. But this with 320, this is just so much better. This is so much more fun. I have my individual mode currently set where I got all the power, so Sport Plus and power, but I still got comfort suspension and comfort steering, and it's a really good combo in this car, especially in our kind of rougher Vancouver roads. If I rev it up to like 3.5, 4,000, you can hear a little bit of that rumble back there, thanks to, well, a slightly different exhaust than the Civic. Essentially, there's no resonator right here in the middle. And because the Integra is only, well, here in North America, they're able to do things like that because it doesn't have to meet all the standards worldwide. So this is actually a little bit more special, although it doesn't have a plaque that says, you know, out of how many vehicles there are. It still feels special though. It really does. What's amazing is, like, when you turn, it just tracks so well. And if you give it a little too much throttle, like, yeah, it does understeer, but you have that lift off oversteer as well. You lift off and that back end, it turns out a little bit. Overall, like, I just can't give enough praise to this vehicle. It's such an amazing vehicle for the money. Sure, it's 58 Canadian. Like, I don't know. I think it's worth it. To me, being a little bit more comfortable is great for my back. And it's not comfortable because of the seat. I actually rather have the Civic seats. It's more comfortable because of the suspension tuning that's in here. And that's what I really like about the Integra. It's just the overall tuning. And I don't have to really do anything to it to make it any better. I already have a decently good sounding exhaust system where, well, it gives me enough of that sound and burble that I'm looking for without getting, well, too obnoxious. Because it's not a BMW. It doesn't have to pop and bang like every single second and like every downshift. It doesn't have to do that. You drive it normally around 2000, even in Sport Plus, no sound. It's relatively quiet. And in here, it's just very livable. It really is. Sure, a Mercedes A35 is about the same price and an S3 is about the same price. But stuff like that, they're all automatic and they're just so isolated. There's nothing in this class that just makes you feel like you're connected to the vehicle. This does. And it's so much better than the DC5 that it kind of replaces. Because in name anyways, this replaces the RSX Type S. And this is a whole lot better. I love this car. I really do. If you don't already have your money down on it, definitely do it. I'm sure you're not going to regret it. It looks good. It sounds great. It's the entire package of the Civic Type R for someone that's a little bit more grown up. That's what it is. In any case, I'm going to keep driving here. I'm not going to stop because I want to enjoy this car some more. But I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Love it. Absolutely love it.